What's going on, guys? It's J-Ho back with more Destiny 2, and a new season has just begun. So we are now in season 14, or season of the Splicer. There's a bunch of new stuff to check out, so let's get straight into it. So first up, we got a couple new seals and titles added to the game, and the first one is the seasonal one. So this one is the Splicer seal, and you also get the Splicer title when you complete all the triumphs in the seal. So some of these triumphs are secret until more stuff comes out later on in the season, but we can look at some of them for now. So we'll go through them really quickly. So the first one says to complete all Path of the Splicer quests, and I believe these are the seasonal story quests that come up every week. The next one says to unlock all Splicer Gauntlet upgrades, very similar to how we had to upgrade the war table at the helm from last season. So similar to that, we have to upgrade the Gauntlet this time. And then next up, we gotta collect all the pages on this lore book. The next one after that says to collect all the Season of the Splicer mods. And then the next one says to complete the quest, A Sacred Fusion. I believe this is the Ritual Weapon quest, which is the fusion rifle. And then next up it says to defeat combatants using Season of the Splicer weapons. So pretty simple for that one. The one after that says to defeat Vex while wearing Season of the Splicer armor. So another pretty simple one. And then the last one says to defeat champions in Override. This is the 6-player seasonal activity. And then the other seal is currently not visible in game, but you can see it on Bungie.net, and you can also see it on the app, as well as some database sites like light.gg. But of course, the seal is for the Vault of Glass, which is the upcoming raid coming out on May 22nd. So once that goes live, that is when the seal will be made available. So the title for this seal is Fatebreaker, and you get that once you complete all the triumphs for this one. I am not going to go through all the triumphs on this one in case people don't want to be spoiled. If you do want to check it out yourselves, you can visit websites like light.gg and go through all the triumphs. But in case some people don't want to get spoiled, I'm not going to go through the triumphs. So those are the two seals that were added for this season. And then next up, we got a new seasonal ritual weapon. So in order to start the quest for this one, you do need to visit Banshee. And this is the Sacred Fusion quest in order to get the new fusion rifle called NULL COMPOSURE. So because it is a set weapon, we can see the perks on this one. So here we go. This is NULL COMPOSURE. It's a void energy fusion rifle, and it comes with the perks Fluted Barrel or Projection Fuse. In the first and second perk columns, we got some options to choose from. So for the first column, we got Feeding Frenzy or Heating Up. And Heating Up says final blows with this weapon increase accuracy and stability while improving vertical recoil. So not bad. And then for the other column, we got two options as well. We got Reservoir Burst or High Impact Reserves. And so Reservoir Burst says when the battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes enemies to explode on death. So this perk is really good. It was one of the perks on the Loaded Question, which was a pinnacle weapon back several seasons ago. So that weapon was really fun to use. That was a good perk. And then moving on, we got a bunch of new exotics as well. So we got one new armor piece per class, and all of them are leg armor this time around. So starting off with the Titan, we got the new exotic called the Path of Burning Steps. And the perk on this one says solar final blows periodically grant you an escalating bonus to weapon damage. You are harder to slow or freeze with stasis, and when you break out, you take no damage from doing so, creating a burst of solar energy around yourself. So this one is very interesting. Off the bat, just looking at the perk and just reading it, it looks really good. Basically because it's a counter towards stasis, and stasis is just really strong right now ever since it was introduced. And so something that can help you combat against stasis is definitely going to be beneficial. Not only is the stasis part really good, but the other benefit is really good as well, just because it says solar final blows give you increased weapon damage and it escalates. So that's going to be pretty interesting to test out as well. And it does say solar final blows, so I'm assuming that means either solar weapons or abilities. And so if you're using solar weapons and then it gives you bonus weapon damage for your other weapons, that's going to be really good as well, especially because of stuff like Felwinter's Lie, which is a solar weapon. So if you can benefit off of this other perk by getting a kill with a solar weapon and then get bonus damage for your other weapons, that's going to be beneficial as well. So I think this one looks really good. Obviously, we need to try it out and see how it performs in game. But definitely just reading the perk, it looks very good. And then next up, we got the Hunter exotic called the Star Eater Scales. And this one looks very unique, so pretty interesting. But the main perk on this one is you gain additional super energy from orbs of power you pick up. While your super energy is full, picking up an orb of power overcharges your super, causing you to gain a burst of healing when cast and a bonus to your super damage. At maximum overcharge, you also gain an overshield. So this one looks pretty good as well, just reading the perk again. Anytime you can get your super quicker by picking up orbs by giving you additional super energy is always strong. And then getting health when you cast your super, or possibly even an overshield, is definitely strong as well. So definitely got to farm some of these lost sectors so we can try out some of these new exotics. But this one looks really good. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Geomag, just because you get your super faster. This one's a little bit different though. You can't just run around for it, but you can get your super quicker by picking up orbs. And then it also buffs your super in a way, and for this one it makes it stronger, and you can get healing off of it as well. So pretty good. I definitely want to try this one out as well. And then finally, for the last one, we got the Warlock one, which is the Boots of the Assembler. And this one says, standing in a healing rift creates noble seekers that seek out allies that are not in a rift and heal them. Standing in an empowering rift creates noble seekers that grant both you and your ally a damage bonus. Each time a noble seeker finds one of your allies, the duration of your rift is briefly extended while you are standing in it. So this one sounds pretty decent as well. I think the other ones might be a little bit stronger than this one. But anytime you can get extra healing, and for this one you can heal your teammates as well, is definitely beneficial. So this one sounds pretty interesting. But I definitely want to try out some of these new exotics. They definitely have some potential. So for exotic weapons, the first one we got is the new Season Pass one, and this is the Stasis Kinetic Sidearm, and it is called the Cryostasia 77K. And the perk on this one says variable trigger, press and release to fire individual shots. Hold to fire a charge shot when liquid cooling is active. So this is the liquid cooling perk that it's talking about, and it says final blows with this weapon enable a charge shot for a short duration. Targets hit by this shot are instantly frozen at the cost of the weapon's entire magazine. So pretty solid. Obviously, whenever you can freeze targets, it's definitely going to be in your favor. So it looks like they're starting to introduce more stasis weapons into the game, and hopefully it doesn't affect the meta too much, because I know a lot of people dislike playing against stasis, and it definitely makes it unfun, just because whenever you get frozen, you can't really counter it and you just lose. So it's definitely not going to be super beneficial when there's tons of new stasis weapons being put into the game. But we'll see how it plays out. Maybe they'll make some stasis tuning changes down the line as they introduce more of these stasis weapons. And then of course the other new exotic is going to be the return of the Vex Mythoclast from Destiny 1 from Vault of Glass. So this one is the main exotic from that raid. And this one looks like it's going to be a little bit different from the one back in Destiny 1. So here are the unique perks on this one. It says Timeless Mythoclast. This weapon fires a single bolt with each trigger pull. And then the other trait says defeating targets build stacks of overcharge. And it says alternate weapon action, swap firing modes when fully overcharged. In alternate firing mode, hold the trigger to charge up and fire more powerful linear fusion shots. So very interesting. You can charge it up and fire a bigger and stronger burst, like a linear fusion rifle, it sounds like. So that's going to be pretty interesting. It's still categorized as a fusion rifle, even though it does sound like it could be possibly like a scout too, just because it says each trigger pull fires a single bolt. But I'm definitely excited to try this one out. Definitely one of the cooler exotics from Destiny 1 that's being brought back. So I can't wait to try this one out once we get access to it. And then finally, the last thing for the video is we're going to go over some of the new exotic catalysts. So I found 3 new exotic catalysts for this season, and 2 of them are for those 2 exotics I already talked about. So the first one we're going to go over is the Vex Mythoclast Catalyst. So yup, they're adding a catalyst for the Vex Mythoclast as well. And so this one doesn't sound too crazy. All it says is that higher stacks of overcharge increase stability. So you just get more stability when you get more stacks of that overcharge. So I'm not really sure how we're going to acquire this catalyst because it doesn't say yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be tied to the raid as well. So we also got a catalyst for the new exotic sidearm as well, and this one says shattering a frozen target refills this weapon's magazine from reserves. So again, like the exotic said, whenever you use the alternate fire mode, it takes up your whole magazine. And so this catalyst basically just makes up for that, so you can use it again. And then finally, the last one is the Deathbringer catalyst, which is the rocket launcher from Shadowkeep. So the perk on this one says increases how quickly Dark Descent reaches its full potential. And so if we recall what Deathbringer does, basically you shoot it and it pops out these void orbs and they slowly drop to the ground, and the longer you let it fall, the more damage it does on the target. So basically this just speeds it up and it increases the damage potential quicker, so you don't have to let it fall even further. But that's basically what this exotic catalyst does. But anyways, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, stay tuned for more videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!